Hey guys, welcome to a different format for English class today. Okay, we're going to be going through a book up until the end of the year. Maybe we'll get through it. Maybe we'll just get to a lot of good stuff and not get through it. Called Critical Thinking Skills, Success in 20 Minutes a Day. Okay, so let's hope that this video stays 20 minutes and you're going to be done, okay? Because the participation is inside the video, okay? You have your copies of lesson 1 and lesson 2 in your papers that I gave you for this week. So you need to follow along with me, because I've spoken to a few of you guys about this, like personally, or I've mentioned it before, but since we haven't been together a lot, it hasn't been able to come up. But guys, it's really important to have critical thinking skills. And what is that? Well, the base of it all is that it's really important to train yourself to look for solutions, okay? It's not sufficient in life that you just say, well, it didn't work out the way that it was supposed to, or the way that my boss told me, or the way that my mom told me, or the way that my teacher told me, or the way that any authority told me it was supposed to work out, the government or whatever it is. And so in that case, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to participate. I'm not going to finish it. I'm not going to complete it, because there's no solution. No, there's always a solution. And once the responsibility is given over to you to do what needs to be done, you need to find a solution, okay? You cannot wait for the government to come, or your boss to come, or your teacher to come, or your parents to come, or anybody that's counting on you to come and say, hey, why didn't you get it done? Oh, it's because, well, this one thing happened. There was an obstacle. You didn't tell me it was going to happen. You didn't give me a solution for it. So I figured, we don't need to do it. No, not going to work like that. That's an equation for failure in life, okay? In every situation. So one thing that's been really on my heart for you guys, especially this year, is that you guys need to learn how to look for solutions. Okay, so that is where we are at today. Okay, so on chapter 1, we're talking about recognizing a problem. So take out a piece of paper. Anything I tell you to write down, or any response I tell you to write down, write it down. Now look, this works like this. This is teaching you, and the whole time. This is a book that you could go through by yourself, okay? But you don't have the book, and I couldn't guarantee that you go through it by yourself. So what's going to happen is that whatever you're responding to, the answer is going to be right there at the bottom of it. So I strongly encourage you that don't look for the answer while you are thinking of an answer, okay? Obviously, all I'm going to be checking is that you have it written down, and I don't care if your answer is right or not, because we're learning through this book, okay? So it doesn't benefit you to just write down the right answer, okay? Think about what you really think is the answer so that you can understand why it is or why it is not, and learn from that. Okay, so here we go. Let's do it. It says, we are continually faced with a series of great opportunities brilliantly disguised as insoluble problems. Okay, so any problem is really an opportunity, and that's a great way to look at it. The lesson summary is going to teach us this. If you want to begin to think critically, so you can solve problems, you first have to recognize that there is a problem and decide its importance or severity, which is very important, you guys. We have to put priorities to our problems, because there's going to be days where you have a problem in every aspect of your life. You have to know which one to deal with first. This lesson focuses on how to do just that. We all face problems every day. Some are simple, like running low on gas in your car, taking a short period of time to solve. Others are complex and demand more time and thought. For example, someone's boss might ask him or her to figure out why the company's latest sales pitch to the most important client failed and come up with a new one. Once you know you have a problem, you need to prioritize. Does the problem demand immediate attention, or can it wait until you are finished working on something else? If there's more than one problem, you need to rank them in order of importance, tackling the most important first, okay? And that also takes self-discipline, because I don't know about you, but I think that we're all wired to find the easiest task to do in the day and get it done first, so you feel good that you got a task done, right? Some people like to tackle things that are harder first so they feel more accomplished, but when it comes to problems, we might be tempted to tackle the easiest problem first, and that shouldn't take priority. So look what it says. What is a problem? Don't take notes yet. It's totally fine. This is all about just learning from it, not necessarily having a book full of notes. A problem is defined as a question or situation that calls for a solution. That means when you are faced with a problem, you must take action and make decisions that can lead you to a resolution. Problems that occur in the form of questions typically don't have one easy answer. Imagine you're asked, "Why are you voting for candidate X instead of candidate Y?" Or "Why do you deserve a raise more than Tani does?" You know the answer, but it's not always easy to put it into just a few words. Situational problems require thinking analytically and making decisions about the best course of action. For example, Raquel learns that a co-worker has been exaggerating the profits of the company for which she works, and he is doing it on orders from the company president. Should Raquel blow the whistle, jeopardizing her career? If so, to whom? So, what's a roadblock to recognizing a problem? One of the most common reasons for not recognizing a problem is a desire to avoid taking action or responsibility. Okay, so it's not necessarily that you're like, I didn't know it was a problem. No, usually you don't recognize that it's a problem because you want to avoid taking action. Okay, let's just be honest. People think that by not acknowledging the problem, they have no responsibility for solving it. Go back to having your gas light on. Your car says that there's no gas in it. You need to go straight to the gas station. If you ignore it, what's going to happen? The problem's going to get bigger. The problem doesn't go away. And that's the same thing in life, okay? No matter how long it takes. This kind of thinking can cause someone to not notice that there are only 5 checks left in his checkbook. If acknowledged, he or she would need to order more checks. Or a worker looks the other way as faulty items come off a conveyor belt and are packed for distribution. If noticed, this would be reported to the management. The worker then might be asked to find what went wrong. Okay, so usually people don't notice because then it requires more work on their end. If people don't acknowledge a problem, it could become larger and more complex, or more problems might be created. For example, if the person in the first situation doesn't notice a need for more checks and order them, then he or she will run out of checks. Then the person will not only be without checks when they're needed, but they will have to go to the bank for temporary ones. And if a worker fails to report the faulty products, there could be lawsuits that might cause the company to cut staff, including the worker who first saw but failed to recognize the problem. Always remember, failing to recognize a problem usually creates more work and more problems. Write that down. Failing to recognize a problem usually creates more work and more problems, okay? Tip: a wise man, Theodore Roosevelt, once said, who was Theodore Roosevelt? A president, right? Once said, in any moment of decision, the best thing you can do is the right thing. The next best thing is the wrong thing, and the worst thing you can do is nothing. What does that mean? Always try to do right, but if you take an action and you make a mistake, yeah, you messed up, but at least you tried, because the worst thing you can do is nothing. But is it really determining the existence of a problem? Look, is it really a problem? Look at what it says. Some situations look like problems when in fact they are not. Okay, so you do have to be careful about that, especially those that are liable to be more dramatic. Okay, everything's a problem. My life is falling apart, right? How can you tell? Ask yourself, is this just a part of a process, or does it actually call for a solution? It's important to recognize when problem-solving skills are needed and when they aren't. Here's an example. George has spent 2 weeks training a new employee at the bank where he works. The new employee makes a couple of errors during her first day of training. Should George ask his boss if he can spend more time with her? Okay, so, maybe this is his first time training, and he sees that she's making mistakes. Okay, like, what does this mean about her? What am I supposed to do about this? What is the solution to this? Or should he find out what expectations the boss has for new employees? George discovers that the boss expects a few errors during a teller's first week on the job. So what George thought was a problem wasn't really a problem at all. Look, when he went to the boss was like, whoa, tranquilo, you're supposed to make a few mistakes. That's the only reason why you're going to learn. Only way you're going to learn. And everyone makes mistakes when they first start. Okay, no one's perfect. That's why they're practicing with you. Okay, so it wasn't a problem. Okay, look at page 13. It says types of problems. Once you recognize that a problem exists, but before you begin to solve it, you have to determine the type of problem as it relates to a time frame and your personal priorities. So now you know it's a problem, now you have to put it into importance. There are 2 criteria to use: severity and importance. Okay, severity is how bad is it? Look what it says. Severe problems may be identified by the following characteristics. They require immediate solutions. They may call for the involvement of others who have more expertise than you, and they result in increasing drastic consequences the longer they remain unsolved. You could circle that. You don't have to write it down, though. So look what it's immediate. You need more help. It could have really bad consequences if not solved. Look what it says. For example, a break in your house's plumbing is a severe problem. Water will continue to leak or perhaps gush out until the break is fixed. The water can damage everything it comes in contact with, including hardwood floors, carpeting, furniture, and walls. Unless you are a plumber, you will need to call a professional to solve the problem immediately. You can't say, oh, we'll wait on that. Delays can result in a more difficult plumbing issue and also costly water damage repairs. You might even need to replace flooring or other items if the break is not fixed quickly. Some minor problems can become severe if not solved immediately. For example, a campfire in the woods that is difficult to put out may take a great deal of time and effort to extinguish, but if it is not put out, it could cause a major forest fire, which would then turn into a severe problem. So that's why you have to understand if it's severe and how important it is. So here you go. Here's a practice. Don't look at the answers. 3 problems arise. So write this down. Practice 1, we'll call it. 3 problems arise at work simultaneously at the same time. In what order do you solve them? Letter A, the printer in your office is down, so it's not working. Letter B, you need to finish writing a report to meet a 3:00 p.m. deadline. Or C, the documents must be dropped off at the post by 5 p.m. What do you have to solve first, second, and third? Think about it. Okay, look at the answer. The most sensible order is A, B, and C. So fix the printer, then finish the report, then do the documents. Why? You can't print the report without the printer, so it must be fixed first. And if a repair person must be called, this task could take the most time of the 3. Then write the report. When you're finished, print the documents, or if necessary, copy them onto a disk and take it to a printer off-site, and then take the printed material to the post office. Okay, so the very first thing you have to do is fix that printer. If not, there's nothing else you can do for the day, right? So you got to work on that. But they even put a solution in here that what happens if you still can't print it. So you tried, you've been working all day, you've been working on your stuff while the repairman's working on the printer. You have your stuff ready, but you still can't print it. Okay, now you know you have to go somewhere. You have to take time before 3 o'clock to go somewhere else and print it off. Okay, so you still have to start with the printer. Here's another practice. Put that practice 2. You invited friends over for pizza and a movie. Before they arrive, you preheat your oven to keep the pizzas warm and put the movie in the DVD player to fast forward through all of the coming attractions and advertisements. However, the DVD is damaged and will not play. As you head out to exchange the movie, you smell gas coming from the kitchen. What should you do? Take a couple minutes to write your answer down. Okay, here's the answer that they give. A natural gas leak is a severe problem and must be dealt with first. Okay, the pizza can wait, the movie can wait, but you gotta fix this gas problem. You should turn off the oven immediately, air out the room, and take great care not to light any matches. Then you should call the apartment superintendent to report the leak so he or she can check out the oven. The other problems aren't severe. You can call your friends to have them wait until the apartment is safely aired out if the problem can be fixed quickly, and then choose another movie to watch. If the gas leak can't be fixed quickly, you can do something else or change the get-together to another day, right? You can go to somebody else's house and do it too. Bring the pizza with you. You could ask them to pick up a new movie while you're fixing the apartment, blah, 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 right? Okay, another practice. Practice number 3. Don't look at the answer. Which, if any of these problems, is severe? Leo's baby had the sniffles that for several days, but she doesn't seem to have a fever. B, Erin discovers a hole in her favorite shirt, which she wants to wear that day to start her new job. C, Will's rent is 2 months past due and he doesn't have enough money to pay for it. And D, the bus company is on strike and Sandy has an important interview at 3 o'clock. Choice C is the most severe. Will might lose his home. If he calls the landlord immediately to explain and make arrangements, he could prevent eviction, or he could get a roommate to share his expenses using that first payment to help hold off the landlord, right? Choice A might become severe if a fever starts, but it is not necessary to take a baby to a doctor for every sneeze and sniffle. Choices B and D are not severe. Erin can choose another shirt and Sandy can find another way to travel. Okay? So we don't have to be dramatic about every problem in our lives. Tip, think of a problem as an opportunity to learn something and build your self-confidence. Every time you solve a problem, it gives you the confidence to face the next one. Truth. That is the truth. Look what it says, important problems. Problems are considered important or unimportant in relation to one another and according to personal priorities. That means you have to rank problems in terms of what's most important to you. Okay, so now we've seen what's severe and not severe. Now we have to go into importance. By prioritizing, you don't deal with minor issues first, leaving more important ones until the last minute. Okay, it doesn't work like that, even though that's how we are as humans. So here is a practice. And honestly, this is opinion because this is determined on your priorities, your importance. Rank the issues in order of importance to you from the most important, number 1, to the least important, number 5. Economy, global warming, universal health care, crime, and education. Go ahead, I'm going to decide mine too. Okay, what are yours? I put education, economy, health, crime, and global warming. I put education first because you have to have people of character in the world for it to function and educated as well to discern. Number 2 is economy because if you have the education, then people know how to run the economy. Then health, because also having the economy and the health in order would reduce crime, and then you can focus on the other crime for number 4 that is not produced by those things. And then global warming because it is a long-term process, which means that waiting on it a little bit would not be as pressing as the other ones. But that's just me. Okay, and then you have your reasons for you. It says how you answer depends on your opinions and life circumstances. If the economy is weak, which unemployment and prices of everyday goods high, you might rank the economy most important. If someone in your family is ill and struggling to pay medical bills, healthcare may be your top concern. But if crime is on the rise in your area, our education system is shortchanging students, including you, you might rank one of of those issues as more important. Practice. Here's another one. Number 5. You are planning a family vacation at a resort 800 miles from your home. Here are some of the details you will need to take care of. Plane tickets, research restaurants in the area, make reservations at the resort, suspend delivery of mail and newspaper of the duration of your trip, and find a pet sitter for your cats. Which order should you complete these tasks, also deciding which is important and what is least important. Go for it. Okay, stop it if you need more time. Look what it says. There is room for various answers based on your personal preference, but really this is a good common ranking, okay? 1, you have to make reservations at the hotel, because what happens if you have to change your dates because the hotel is not, the hotels are not available, which happens, okay? So you don't want to buy your plane tickets until you do that. Then you can buy your plane tickets, okay? Because you can't really make any other plans until you make sure you know how much money you spent on them and you make sure that there's flights available for those days. Then you find, and what you could also do is you could research the flights for those days and then make your hotel reservation and then buy your plane tickets. So it's good to research first too. Especially like here, like, you can't get into the island every day, okay, from certain areas. So you need to make sure that you check that. Number 3, find a pet sitter for cats. This shouldn't be difficult because you can't go on vacation without finding help for the cats. Then you can suspend your mail and newspaper delivery. And then you can research restaurants, because honestly, the suspending of the mail and the researching of restaurants, you don't really have to do, because what happens if you just have a bunch of mail there? It's okay, when you get back, you have a bunch of mail. So what? Okay, or you can ask a friend to go to your box and get it for you. The other thing is if you get there and you haven't researched restaurants, probably at the hotel, they're going to have someone telling you what restaurants you can eat at. Okay, here we go. The cost of problem solving. When you are on a budget, money is a factor in determining the importance of problems. Yes or no? Sometimes money causes problems. If 2 or more problems require a payment to solve and you do not have the money available to take care of everything at once, you will need to determine what needs attention first and what can wait. Practice number 6. Perhaps you find that your car needs a new muffler the day before you are going to take your air conditioning to be repaired. Oh, it sounds like my problems. You do not have the money to do both right now. Make a list of the reasons each repair is necessary and decide which should be done first. Okay, look what it says. Car repair. It'll be too noisy with a muffler. Without the muffler, you could get in trouble by the police for not having one. You can't drive your car without it, and you need to drive your car to work. So that's why you should get the muffler done first. Next one, the air condition running inefficiently is wasting electricity at your house. Heat wave predicted for later in the week. Have trouble sleeping without AC. And you live on the 4th floor and it's too hot without AC. What do you guys think should be done first? It's the car. Especially here, you guys are probably like, it's definitely the car, Micheska. We live without air conditioning every day. Yeah, my air condition needs work too, and I just have decided exactly what we decided here, which is to be focusing on my car, because I have been putting too much money into my car lately, but it's way more necessary than my air condition. Okay, conclusion, the car should be repaired first. While it may be uncomfortable without an air condition, you need your car to get to work, and that is your top priority. So here we go. It says, in short, when you recognize that you are faced with a problem, you also recognize the need for action on your part. But that action depends on the kind of problem you are facing. Is the problem severe? If there is more than one problem, what should be tackled first? And use your critical thinking skills to pinpoint any problem before you begin to anticipate a solution. So look what it says you could do. The next time you need to make a to-do list, try ranking the items on your list. You might list them in order of what takes the most or the least time. Or perhaps list them in order of when they have to be done. You might have your own order of importance in which to list items. For practice, try ordering them in each of the different methods previously listed. Test your skills of problem recognition when watching the evening news. After you hear a story, list 3 problems that will probably occur as a result. Okay, I'm not going to make you do either one of those right now. I just want to see your participation today for this class, and then later on we might throw in the skill building. Okay, thanks guys. I hope you are going to start enjoying how to build critical thinking skills for life. Bye.